Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of Thursday, the 25th of September, 2025. Hey, I apologize if the videos didn't post last night. I'm seeing that. I use artificial intelligence for the posting function. It works 99% of the time, so I forget to check it every now and then because I know it's working. It didn't work. So I had done the videos, and then I saw that it was missing one last function that was supposed to do. I'll check it again tonight and get in the habit of checking it more often. All right, so maybe we take a look at what we have coming up, and then I'll go into everything else. You get the personal income spending, and of course, one of the Fed's favorite tools, the PCE price index data for August. That comes out at 7:30. They're looking for increases, 0.3 up on the personal income, 0.5 up on the spending. We're going to get revisions to the final number might be the better word, to Michigan's final consumer sentiment index numbers. They're looking for it unchanged. However, remember today's GDP? That was supposed to be unchanged. It soared in all the categories. So the economy did really well at the end of the period. We had jobless claims. Didn't we just put in, by the Fed, insurance rate cut to shore up the labor market? Did it need it? Jobless claims just fell to the lowest of the year. And behind it, the continuing claims fell. I don't know what's going on there. Upside momentum in metal markets, be careful. In the futures, gold lost its upside momentum, and in the futures markets, they've lost their upside momentum. That doesn't mean I'm bearish. It means I'm no longer the bull I was until that momentum is regained, if you're a momentum trader. James Comey, tonight, indicted. So that's another thing that we're going to have to look at. What's that all mean? President Trump announced tonight that Israel is not going to annex the West Bank. Now, I don't know how he speaks for Israel, but we have a lot of clout. They don't want to lose America behind them. So that's a good piece of news. And, you got to find a way to end all this. Energy prices railing. Why? Because come Sunday, Iran's going to see the full sanctions come back on them. And they'll come back with a vengeance this time. Russia. The European Union is getting ready to hit them with more sanctions. I don't know what they are. Just read the highlights of it. And they claim they're coming. And Ukraine keeps hitting the refineries. It's finally figured out with the drones it has, hit them in the pocketbook, and it seems to be working. It's causing oil prices to rally as less oil is available, and we think Iran's oil is going to come under even heavier sanctions. When that hits, then we have to go on to the buyers of that, which we know are China. It was India. It's not as much as it was. Turkey, believe it or not, is a big buyer. So we've got to talk to some people that are quasi-friends, China, and a better friend in Turkey. And Erdogan is coming to the U.S. now, so we'll see just what's going to be with all that. So those are the things I'm looking at. When we take a look at the marketplace, if I just stand back, it was a pretty mixed picture in the colors. Red is down, green is up. Gold was up, GDX, all that. Futures, not quite the way. All of the stock indices came down, even RSP. And you've got to pay attention every now and then to RSP. And the reason is it's the S&P 500 equal weighted. And, when you have that MAG 7 and those 7 or 8 stocks in it, what about the other 490 stocks? You've got to be looking at that. I look at it on a regular basis. NVDA came up a little bit. Oil, no surprise. Amazon, a $2.5 billion settlement. $1 billion to the government is a fine, think of it that way. $1.5 billion going to go back to people that tried to get out of their Prime membership and couldn't. They were not found guilty. They wisely settled the case, and they said they did no wrongdoings. Let's leave it at that. Netflix still holding that 1,200 level. Apple, a lot of businesses are going right for Apple. I'm reading more and more reviews of how much people like the new Apple phones. There are glitches. People that have bought them, they're just saying that T-Mobile, Verizon, other carriers, they're having some trouble where they're dropping. It comes right back, but messages or conversations being dropped, Whenever you get these new products, that's expected to happen. We'll see what happens. Restoration hardware needs its own restoration at this point. Google, I still like Google a lot, and I think you know that. People aren't going to abandon Google. I know everybody thinks AI will say you're going to leave them and go. It's so easy to use Google. How are you going to convert people over? Think about Apple and iPhone. They were the first to do what they did. They got the market share. How hard has it been to take others away from that? Android, a lot of people like them, but not like Apple. I mean, they just watch it. Finally, you're getting a little pullback in Tesla. Lilly pulled back a test on, I think it's the Zepbound program, where they were testing to not lose muscle mass on people with diabetes. They yanked it, but they're keeping the test going on those that didn't have a form of diabetes, and we'll see how that goes. But that hit that stock pretty hard today, too. All right, so let's go to the markets and see what we've got. I'm still following with you the Copart, and I'm not going to follow it again for a very long time. I did it for one of you, but that brings up something. What do you want me to chart for you tomorrow? So tonight, write me on the YouTube that you're watching this on, and let me know what you want to cover. You know, we get some jerks that go on there, and I wish you'd all write YouTube and say to them, you got to stop these people that are trying to push these penny stocks and telling people that this one's buying it. I'm not going to give credence to the name. You see it when you go there. I take them off as fast as I can do that. But where is all the AI to realize this is just spam of the worst type? Lower highs, lower lows, well, just lower lows. Look at this. All the way down in the market. You have been crashing ever since you started breaking down through this low. That was the end of the game on the upside. The market's still coming down all the way through here. You saw today what happened to CarMax, 20% decline, just like that. So this is what's happening to Copart too. Anything in the used automobile area is getting hit and hit hard right now, and you developed a bearish embedded reading. So until the red line pops over the 21 level on a closing basis, I think rallies continue to be sold. Netflix broke back and could not stay up and over. And I gave you the points. I said it's fighting at first between the 100-day average and the 18 as a resistance point, needs to get up and close over these numbers. It couldn't do it. Next target could be the lower Bollinger Band. To neutralize the downtrend, you've got to be able to close back over the 1229.95 level. In UNH, I'm looking for a pullback off an overbought condition. I think the market is bottomed out. I think the worst is actually behind it, and I'm looking hard at the 18-day average. It's something we'll look at on the weekly charts. Home Depot could be headed for that lower Bollinger Band. It is oversold. I'm certainly not advocating going short down here, but the cut in interest rates that we all thought would benefit markets like this not only didn't, it actually drove real rates higher. That's not good. And by the way, it drove them higher even in the short-term area of the market, which was a surprise. I've circled in orange, very faint orange for you here, Robinhood. You're losing the bullish embedded reading. Unless it comes back tomorrow and this number closes back over 80, the market could easily be, for the first correction, coming back to wherever that price in the 18-day average meet. Tesla still embedded. This pullback, though, has created a different problem. Suddenly, you got a pattern of lower highs, lower lows. It is still bullish because of that, but not the buy that it was prior to that and these other points in the chart, because you're getting a different chart pattern suddenly. Joby, I'm watching very carefully. I want it to pull back. I've said that to you. I want to see if it can get back to the 18-day average, hold it, and I'm looking at the weekly chart on a way to try to buy it. And that's for my subscribers in the update that I put out. When you look at XLF, lower highs, lower lows, back into the bear camp, complete bear camp. You'd have to go back over this high of 54.49 in order to negate that. I think the pros are selling at the 18-day average, looking to see if they can get to that 52.97 level. In the industrial sector, well, one swoop. You went one time to that Bollinger Band, fell apart. just literally have fallen apart, even took out prior break lows once that was hit. It's exactly what I teach in my enhanced Bollinger Band course at IraEpstein.com. It was overbought, that first hit. You often get that. Be careful of that. You got to learn how to work with that type of signal. I was watching Kramer tonight, and he was talking about Bollinger Bands, how he uses them for a measure of volatility when they narrow in and out. I happen to think it's way more than that, but that's just my opinion. Lower low, higher high. We'll see what goes on. And by the way, I don't just watch Kramer. I watch everything there. I watch a lot of Bloomberg. If you saw the TV array I have, you'd understand. In the gold market, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. It's holding on, but the futures lost the bullish reading. Now, futures are up $9 to $10 in early trade tonight. That's a good sign, but they are still losing their embedded reading. If they lose it there, it sort of bleeds over here. Be careful. The market that is super strong is the silver. It has given up nothing compared to the gold. It keeps hitting the Bollinger Band, turning away, and it's re-embedded. It's just much stronger than the gold market. Copper market, you know, and the miners we're talking here, you're aware of what we're talking about. I think it's the Grasberg mine or Gasberg mine in Indonesia. A terrible accident. It drove prices in the futures. I used the word fabulously higher, but that's a bad thing I said. It was a terrible event that drove prices sharply higher. And that's what I meant to say. In any case, higher lows, higher highs, fighting the battle there, you can see it. When people die in a mine, there's nothing fabulous about it. Chart action was fabulous, but the event, a terrible event. That's how I want to say it. In BND, lower highs, lower lows, the market breaking down. When this breaks down, it means interest rates are going higher. What do you think the higher interest rates have done? They've driven the dollar. It's like they gave it an adrenaline shot. And it turned from the day of the cut by the Fed into a monster rally. I didn't see that coming. I'm sure you did. I didn't see that coming, but it came. And I said when we got back up here, there's something else going on. I didn't know what it was and still don't. But boy, that's a pretty powerful rally. And if you're bullish on the dollar, then that's bearish the euro, because 57% of the dollar index is weighted by the euro currency. So you put it together, that's what I'm looking at. Pretty wild events. Again, if you want to learn, you go to our website, go to the charting courses. That's where the enhanced Bollinger Band course is. You can also look at the research that we have there. That's where I put out all my research for the morning paid subscriber videos, where I'm able to say, buy here, sell there, do this. It's IraEpstein.com. You'll see an icon up here. It's typically up right about here when you're looking at your YouTube. Give it a click. It'll take you right to where you have to go. I'm Ira. Have a great evening. I'll catch up with you in the other videos tonight or first thing in the morning. Take care.